sleeping, I thought I would just quickly do a postpartum update, an update on him for the first week. Caius is now 7 days old today, so he will be 7 days old once it gets to 2:30 this afternoon, but yeah, he's a week old, so I'll just sort of do a bit of a recap of what's been happening this first week. Please excuse my disgusting hair, I look like completely retarded, but I'm just like not really caring about my hair right now. So yeah, he's a week old. So he was born on a Saturday afternoon. I'll start off with sort of like, we stayed at the birth centre until Monday afternoon. We came home at about 1:30 in the afternoon, I think it was. So we had a really good stay. My husband stayed with me, and AJ got looked after by grandparents and things. The first 24 hours was pretty crazy, really. He latched straight away after birth, and was basically feeding really well, doing all of that he was, your quote, supposed to do. He was healthy and everything. I had no tears or rips or had to have an episiotomy, none of that. So physically I was all good. My placenta was healthy, so we were able to get that sent off to be encapsulated. I should be getting that in a few days. So I mean, I'll show you guys when I get that back. What else? So our stay at the birth centre was really good, and I'm so glad I stayed. My bleeding has been pretty good, really. The first 48 hours it was like, will this ever end? But quite quickly it like clotted and turned into what you would call, what it would look like a period, really. And sort of by day 5, it was like becoming quite minimal. At the moment I know this is TMI, but this is what happens after you have a baby. I passed quite a few clots, but they weren't huge or anything. So yeah, bleeding's been pretty minimal, really, compared to first time around. And it's sort of really slowing down now, so that's good. I'm glad about that. I got a little graze when I was pushing, but that's healed pretty much. So it's 80% healed now. It's not painful to get, water on it or anything like that. So that's good. Let's see. As far as breastfeeding's going, it's going really well. I've been so religious about putting my nipple ointment on after every feeding. I have not had any cracked nipples. Yes, they're tender because they're still getting used to the newborn, feeding thing again. They're tender and sometimes it stings a little bit, but he's got a good latch, so there's no damage being done. They're just getting used to being used again. They've just got to toughen up. My milk came in quite quickly, because the first 2 nights, so the 2 nights that we were at the birth centre, first nights, he was all about cluster feeding and bringing my milk in. So by Monday, which was day 2, it was starting to come in, and by Tuesday it was in. I haven't had too bad of engorgement issues. I've been pumping when I feel like I need to. I've been sort of, really keeping an eye on them to make sure I don't get mastitis again. He favours my right side, and it's kind of annoying because my right side, I feel like it's so much bigger than my left. I think because my right side, the letdown seems to be a lot quicker than my left, and also on my left side, my nipple doesn't stick out quite as much as my right side, so he gets frustrated with my left nipple, especially if it's engorged, if my breast is engorged, and he can't quite latch. But I mean, he can feed off of it quite fine, but he just prefers my right side, which I try and give him my left as much as possible, but he just will, but we're working on that. But I'll pump from my left side, and I always make sure that, I try and keep things as even as possible, really. But he's got a good latch, and he's got no problem eating forever and ever and ever. So as far as sleeping, when they're this age, there's no routine, there's no predictability at this point. At night time he is in bed with me, and I never thought it would work this time. Last time it didn't. All the things that, they're completely different this time around. So he's in bed with my husband and I at night time, and I just feed him and he goes off to sleep. And the last couple of nights he's done like a 4-hour stretch before waking up for his first feed during the night, and then after that it's sort of like a couple of hours or an hour and a half or something until we're ready to get up for the day. He burps a lot, and so that's sort of like half the battle in the night is trying to make sure he's burping. It takes quite a while for his wind to come up, but he is so far not a spilly baby at all. He has not spilled up milk once. So I mean, he's eaten it and it's staying down. Lots of wet and poopy nappies. All of that is, going like it's supposed to. He's working like he's supposed to, I guess you could say. Of course, sleeping during the day is, there's no routine to it yet. I'm not expecting a routine for, maybe another sort of week or 2. I would like to get him into his crib, into his bassinet, beside our bed, for sleeping at night time, and during the day in the next couple of weeks. So, but I will be able to sort of work on that if and when I see a sort of like a pattern occurring with, how long he's sleeping for, and, sort of roundabout times that he might be waking or wanting to eat or wanting to go to sleep. he is fed on demand. I don't look at the clock to see when he wants to be fed. I just go by his cues. He doesn't cry much. The only time he cries and gets upset is when he is uncomfortable and he is trying to burp or get some wind up, or if I'm trying to offer him the left breast and he just does not want it. He wants the right one. He wants the right one. That's the only time he cries. I pick up on his feeding cues before he gets to the hysterical point. So once he's like trying to put his hands in his mouth and things like that, I just go by him. So feeding can be anywhere from goes from anywhere from half an hour to 4 hours. In between, it depends. It really depends on what he's doing. He's starting to have a bit of more of a he has like a wakeful sort of time in the morning, where he'll be I feed him and he will stay awake, and it might only be for like half an hour, enough for me to like, get him dressed and maybe get myself something to eat, and he will he's happy to lie and just look around, and then by the time I've done that, then he'll be ready for a feed and he drifts off to sleep. And right now he's conked out. At this point he's just wanting one breast per feed, but as his tummy gets bigger he'll want more, which is fine. I'm just going by what he wants. So yeah, anything else about me? Emotionally, I'm feeling really good. I have not had anything. I haven't even got my placenta pills yet, and I have not had baby blues. I have not had any of the feelings. Oh, it's a big jolt. Any of the feelings or thoughts that I had last time, and I keep thinking, like, it's day 7 today, and last time by day 7 I was like losing my mind pretty much, and things this time around just seem to be a complete 180, and I'm so glad I made all the decisions that I made, and chose to eliminate visitors for the first week, and have it be a minimalistic amount of fuss and things like that. I think I've really made a difference, and I think in this time around I feel like I know more about what I'm doing, and I'm a lot more relaxed about things, and I think that's really helped. So I'm still going to take my placenta pills though, because they've got so many other benefits. Oops. Okay. He keeps jolting when I touch him. Maybe I'll stop patting his bottom. So I've been feeling really good. I mean, yes, I'm tired. But really, that's it. I'm just tired. And I'm not at this point trying to do things to make... I'm not trying to do things, basically. I'm just doing what I need to do. I know it's going to be a bit more difficult when my husband goes back to work. And when my sister, she's still here. She leaves next week. Actually, in a few days. Yeah. The middle of next week. So, it'll be different then once I'm on my own with my 2 boys. But in a way, I'm kind of ready to tackle that, and to for us to sort of work out our own little routine on our own. and get into the swing of things like that. But yeah, so emotionally I'm feeling really good, and I'm so grateful that I'm feeling as good as I am. So yeah, I'm really happy about that. Physically, physically, still get a bit sore in my butt, not in not from like having the baby, but I mean like my muscles, like in my butt and my thighs, everything's still really like loose from the pregnancy hormones. So when I've been sitting for a long time, it hurts to walk when I get up and that sort of thing. But my midwife said, your pregnancy hormones are still there, so it takes a couple of weeks for them to sort of fade away, and then your muscles, everything sort of go back together. So and with a newborn, you are sitting a lot if you're breastfeeding and everything like that. It's just like, but yeah, as far as pain wise from physically actually having the baby, there's none. So that's fantastic. Jolting in his sleep. As far as my breasts are concerned, they're doing a billion times better than they did the first time round, so that's great. Oh my god, that's what was really bad this time around was, and I knew they would be because that's what everybody says, for subsequent children, your uterine contractions that you get after you have a baby are worse, and oh my god, they are worse. It was horrendous. They've finally stopped now, but for the first 4 days they were horrible. I would get excruciating contraction pains every time he would feed. It was just like, it was really bad, and even taking some some light pain medication did nothing. And so that was really horrible, because I'd be like, it was just, it was really horrible. So those were way worse this time round than the first time. I can't do anything about that. But they're gone now. I have not had one in like 3 days, so I think my uterus is, must be contracting pretty good. What else? I I weighed myself on the day that he was born, that morning, because it was, I was 40 weeks pregnant, so I was like, I'll weigh myself, because I do that, every week. And I was 84.3 kilos, I think. Or was it 83.4? It was either 83.4 or 84.3 kilos. I can't remember which. And then 3 days postpartum, I was 77.4 kilos. So, yeah, I haven't weighed myself again since, so I don't know what's going on there. I mean, my belly is very flabby from, being stretched out that much, but I'm not concerned about toning up and all that sort of stuff at this point whatsoever. For the first 6 weeks, I'm just going to be doing what I got to do to, get my life into this new routine, and all that sort of stuff, and then I'll worry about it later. So yeah, at this point I'm just concerned about making sure that he is eating and sleeping, and that I'm sleeping, and staying hydrated and all that sort of stuff. So So yeah, my body is not something that I'm really thinking about at the moment. But yeah, so the first week has been pretty good. As far as how AJ is reacting to Caius, I have not put any pressure on AJ to interact with him, you know, dote on him and love on him and all that sort of stuff. And I think that's been good, because over the last few days he's coming up and saying, oh, you know, what's Kai's doing? And I'll say, oh, he's you know, drinking from my boobie. And he's like, oh, drinking from my boobie. And he's, you know, he's held his hand and he's kissed him and he's been talking to him. And so he's just doing things at his own pace. So I'm quite happy to leave it like that, because, you know, it's a big adjustment and I don't want it to be like a big deal, like, oh my god, AJ, like, look, it's your new brother and blah blah, you know, just sort of just be like, ugh. So yeah, so we're just sort of starting to sort of include Caius into, you know, things and everything like that. But I mean, oh, we'll see. I'll probably update you guys in a couple of weeks about how things are going routine wise and everything with us. So yeah, but it's been a really wishy-washy postpartum update, baby update. He hasn't been weighed again yet. He gets weighed again on Monday, so we'll see what he's doing then. But I mean, he's eating a lot all the time, so it definitely doesn't feel like he's losing weight. So pretty sure he'll be fine in that regard. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. If you have any questions or you think I've left something out, please put it in a comment below and I'll answer it. But yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it there now, go and see if I can put this little guy down and continue on with my day.